You wake up, you stretch, you feel fine. No pain, no warning sign. But right now, in this exact moment, your bones could already be getting weaker, and you would never know it, because bone loss doesn't hurt. It doesn't show up until a fall, a fracture, or a doctor's scan tells you the damage is already done. And the strange part, it's not old age doing this. It's 5 small things almost everyone does before breakfast. Stick with me, because habit number 5 is the one nobody warns you about. Let's be honest for a second. When you think about bone health, what comes to mind? Probably calcium. Maybe a glass of milk. Maybe your doctor telling you to take more vitamin D. That's what most people over 60 believe protects their bones. And it's not wrong. But it's missing something big. Your bones are alive. I know that sounds strange, because we think of bones as hard, solid, unchanging, like a rock. But they're not. Right now, inside your body, old bone is being broken down and new bone is being built, every single day. It's called remodeling. And here's the part almost nobody tells you. What you do in the first hour after you wake up has a direct effect on whether that remodeling works in your favor, or against you. So today, we're not talking about diet plans or expensive supplements. We're talking about 5 ordinary morning habits, things you probably do without even thinking, that could be quietly working against your bones. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious. Just small, everyday choices with a bigger effect than you'd expect. Habit number 1, drinking coffee before you drink water. Think about your normal morning. You wake up, you're a little groggy, and the first thing you reach for is coffee. It feels natural. It wakes you up. Most of us have done this for years without a second thought. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. You've just spent 6, 7, maybe 8 hours asleep, without a single sip of water. Your body is already a little dry when you open your eyes. Now, instead of giving it water first, you give it coffee, and coffee is a mild diuretic, which means it makes you lose even more fluid. So you're starting your day already low on water, and the first thing you drink pushes you further into that hole. Why does this matter for your bones specifically? Because your blood calcium levels are closely tied to how hydrated you are. When your body senses it doesn't have enough fluid, it can trigger a hormone called parathyroid hormone, and one of that hormone's jobs is to pull calcium out of your bones to keep your blood chemistry balanced. In other words, dehydration doesn't just make you feel thirsty. It can quietly tell your body to borrow calcium from your skeleton. The fix here is almost embarrassingly simple. Before your coffee touches your lips, drink 1 full glass of water. That's it. 2 minutes. No cost. No new product to buy. You're simply changing the order of 2 things you already do every morning. Habit number 2, sitting down for the first hour of your day. Picture this. You wake up, and your morning looks like this. Sit down for coffee, sit down to check messages or the news, sit down for breakfast. An hour goes by, maybe more, and you haven't really stood up or moved. Here's the thing about bone that most people never learn. Bone responds to pressure. When you stand, when you walk, when you put weight on your legs, you're sending your skeleton a message, a physical message, that says, we need this bone, keep it strong. Doctors call this weight-bearing load, and it's one of the most powerful natural signals your bones ever receive. Now think about what happens after a full night lying in bed. Your bones just went 7 or 8 hours with almost none of that pressure. If you then spend another hour sitting down before you get moving, you're stretching that no signal window even longer. Your body's default response, in the absence of that pressure, leans toward breaking down bones slightly faster than it builds it back. You don't need a gym membership to fix this. You don't need special equipment. All it takes is 5 to 10 minutes of real movement, standing up, walking to another room, a short walk around your yard or your street, before you settle into your chair for coffee or breakfast. That's enough to send your skeleton the message it's been waiting for. Habit number 3, taking a calcium pill and assuming the job is done. This one is going to surprise some of you, because it challenges something you're actively trying to do right. A lot of people over 60 take a calcium supplement every single morning. They're consistent. They care about their health. And in their mind, they've checked the box. Bones, handled. But here's what most people are never told. Calcium doesn't automatically walk itself into your bones just because it's in your bloodstream. It needs help getting there. First, it needs vitamin D, which allows your gut to actually absorb the calcium properly in the first place. Second, and this is the part almost nobody mentions, it needs movement. Weight-bearing activity is what tells your body where to send that calcium. Without it, calcium can just circulate in your blood, get excreted, or in some cases, contribute to buildup in places you don't want it, like your blood vessels. So a calcium pill on its own, without vitamin D and without movement that same day, is doing a fraction of the job you think it's doing. The fix is not complicated. Pair your calcium with a source of vitamin D, sunlight, certain foods, or a supplement your doctor recommends. And make sure that same day, you get some form of weight-bearing movement. It doesn't need to happen in the same hour. It just needs to happen. Habit number 4, skipping protein at breakfast. Look at a typical morning meal for a lot of people: toast, cereal, maybe some juice. Simple carbohydrates. Protein gets pushed to lunch, or dinner, or sometimes it barely shows up at all. Here's why that matters more than people realize. We think of bone as basically calcium, like a mineral rock. But bone is actually about half protein by volume. That protein forms a scaffold, almost like a frame, and calcium mineralizes onto that frame to make it hard and strong. Without enough protein, the frame itself is weaker, no matter how much calcium you're taking. And there's a timing piece too. Overnight, while you're fasting during sleep, your body shifts into a mild breakdown state. It starts using stored protein for energy. Eating protein at breakfast helps signal your body to stop breaking down and start rebuilding again. Skip that protein, and your body stays in breakdown mode longer than it needs to. This one has a genuinely easy fix. Add a real protein source to breakfast: eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, even a spoonful of nut butter. You don't have to give up your toast. Just don't let carbohydrates be the only thing on your plate. And now, habit number 5, the one I promised you at the start. The one that surprises people most. This habit is different from the others, because it's not something people are doing carelessly. It's something a lot of people over 60 are doing on purpose, because they believe it's protecting their health. It's avoiding morning sunlight completely, because they've been told, for years, that sun exposure is dangerous for their skin. And to be clear, that advice isn't wrong. Protecting your skin from intense, prolonged sun, especially in the middle of the day, genuinely matters. But here's the piece that gets lost. A short amount of early morning sunlight, we're talking 10, maybe 15 minutes, well before the sun is at its strongest, is one of the main ways your body naturally makes vitamin D. And remember habit number 3, vitamin D is exactly what your body needs to actually use the calcium you're taking. So picture someone who avoids the sun completely, every single day, all year round. Their calcium intake might look perfect on paper. But without vitamin D, a large part of that calcium may never even make it to their bones. It's a quiet gap that most people never think to check. The fix isn't to throw caution to the wind. It's balance. A short early morning walk, before the sun gets strong, with your arms or lower legs uncovered, can help your body produce some natural vitamin D, without the risks that come from long, unprotected sun exposure later in the day. And if you're ever unsure, this is a perfect question to bring to your doctor, whether a vitamin D supplement might make sense for you specifically. So let's bring this all together. Habit 1, coffee before water, quietly deepens a dehydration your body is already dealing with, which can push it to pull calcium out of your bones. Habit 2, sitting for that first hour, delays the physical pressure signal your bones rely on to stay strong. Habit 3, calcium alone, without vitamin D or movement, often means that calcium never really reaches your bones at all. Habit 4, skipping protein at breakfast, weakens the very framework that calcium is supposed to strengthen. And habit 5, avoiding the sun entirely, can quietly starve your body of the one thing that makes all that calcium usable in the first place. Here's what I want you to notice about all 5 of these. Not one of them requires you to buy anything. Not one of them requires a new pill, a new gadget, or a complicated routine. Every single one is simply about when and how you do things you're already doing anyway. A glass of water first. A short walk before you sit down. Pairing calcium with sunlight and movement. Protein on your plate. And a little morning light, in moderation. Small changes. But your bones are working for you every single day, quietly, without asking for thanks, carrying you, protecting your organs, letting you stand, walk, hug the people you love. The least we can do is give them the right conditions to do that job well, starting from the very first hour you're awake. If this helped you see your morning differently, share it with someone who could use it, a parent, a friend, anyone over 60 who's trying to stay strong. And if you want more simple, honest health guidance like this, subscribe, because we're just getting started.